Welcome back to My Life Deliberately. In the past, I've been using this tool to sharpen my chainsaws, and I think this works really well. One thing I like about it is you can use it out in the field. I also like the fact that it's got a flat file here that hits the rakes to keep the rakes from being too tall, so your chain is cutting into the wood and getting the proper depth. Um, Things I don't like is that I take my chains off, I clean them, and then I I flip the bar so that it wears more evenly around, and then I put the chains back on. And then after I do that, I use this to sharpen them up, and I have to put them in the vise over here. So I think I found a better way and something that I like better, and that's to use a grinder. So what I've got here is I've got the Vevor grinder. Now, in all honesty, Vevor reached out to me and offered me this grinder and to do a vid and in exchange for doing a video on it. So that's what I'm doing. But this is my 100% honest opinion of this grinder and my experiences with it. So as some of you know, in an earlier video, I built this workstation here with lumber that I cut on the sawmill, and it was always my intention to use this as my chainsaw workstation. I've since added a shelf down there, and I've got my chainsaws down there, and I've got a vise over here that I use to sharpen the chainsaw with this tool. And but it was always my intention to put a grinder over here and to at least try the grinder to see how well that will work on the chains. And so it was fortuitous for me when Vevor reached out and offered me the grinder. And so I'm happy I accepted it. In the kit, it comes with a manual, a dressing stone, a couple Allen wrenches, and a guide for the wheel, for dressing the wheels to get the right profile. And then it comes with two wheels, an 1/8 inch wheel and a 3/16 inch wheel. To set up your grinder, the first thing you're going to want to do is open up the manual and go to the back of the manual. It's got this graph in here that shows you different settings for different chains for your chainsaw. I've highlighted a couple that I have. And if you look on your either the package you bought your chainsaw or on the bar for your chainsaw, you'll see these common settings for your chain, and then you can look those up in this manual here, and it'll tell you what size grinding wheel to use, whether you use the 1/8 wheel or the 3/16 inch wheel, and then tell you at what angles you need to set the grinder, both the angle to come into the blade and then or the chain, and then the angle that the chain needs to be at to get the proper grind. And so they make it really easy to just look up your chain. It even gives you the model numbers of the chain so you can verify that you've got the right one. But and if this becomes outdated, you just simply go by the settings that are on your chainsaw package or on your chainsaw bar, and you can dial in the settings that you need. To adjust the angle of the wheel, there's a knob in the back of the grinder. Just loosen that knob a little bit and then grab the wheel. It's kind of heavy because of the motor, and then you can adjust the angle. It's got some stops that kind of bounces into place on, but there's a graph here at the top. Then there's another graph at the bottom, so you can do it from a seated down position looking underneath, or you can do it from up above. And so you just set the angle that you want and then tighten the knob back down, and it stays there. And then you're set to start running your wheel at that angle. And the angle that you want to set it to is the one you looked up in the graph for your chain. To adjust the depth of your wheel, you want to turn this knob here. You want the wheel to come down and just touch in near the gullet. You don't want it to go all the way to the bottom and start cutting into the bottom of the chain. And then once you've got the setting that you want, you just simply tighten this knob right here, and that holds. And so to adjust the chain angle, the one you looked up in the chart for your chain, for me it's 30 degrees, but you loosen this wheel at the bottom, and then you can turn this. It makes little clicks at the indents, and then you set it for the 30 degrees for one direction, and you sharpen every other chain. And then when you're finished going through the whole chain, then you bring it back to the other 30 for me, whatever it is for you on the chart, and lock your wheel back in place and do it again. To position the chain stop, which stops the chain when you pull it back so that your link is in the correct position, you use this knob here. And same thing, you can pull it back and forth to get it to the position that you want. And then you've got a little knob here to tighten up. And like I said before, these knobs seem to hold very well. They don't seem to loosen up or vibrate loose over time. So, and then that puts your chain in the correct position. And then each time you advance the chain and pull back, you'll be in the right position for your wheel to grind in the right spot. I'm using the 1/8 inch wheel, and the operation is pretty simple. You advance the chain by you advance 2 at a time, and then you turn this knob, hold it in place, and lower the grinder down. I find it to be pretty fast. I find it to be accurate and consistent. Some of the things I was concerned about was would the wheel run true, and it does. I was afraid it might be something that has some wobble in it or something, but it doesn't. It runs very true. Something else I was concerned about was the how well Vevor would made the the adjustments. Are they easy to adjust? And then do they hold their settings? You know, because I was afraid that whatever they used to tighten down the setting might loosen up over time, and you would start to lose your settings. But I found that not to be true. These knobs they use to tighten down the controls or the adjustments, they work very well. There's one here, one over here for this, and then so yeah, so I'm really quite pleased with the tool overall. The body of the tool was much heavier duty than I thought it would be. The thing's a little bit heavy. It's got a couple holes here for putting bolts in, or lag bolts, whichever you choose to hook it down to your bench. And then right down here, it's got a little bit of a lip that holds it up against the face of your bench. One thing that I did notice is that the metal they use for that shows the degrees, they're riveted in place on both the top, and there's one down here and one here, and I find them to be a little bit flimsy. I think they could have used a little heavier metal there, but other than that, I think the price point comparing this to an organ grinder is quite a bit cheaper, and so that had me a little bit concerned about the quality, but it's turned out the quality is very good. Anyway, so that's my honest review of this product. I didn't find anything wrong. I was very happy with that. Very pleased with using it. I don't see any issues really, and the important things are that it maintains its settings. The wheel runs true. I get a consistent grind on the entire chain, and it seems to cut good afterwards. So I think I'm getting a sharper cut than I am using the file. So I'm very happy with it. And if you would like to pick up one of these, I've got a link in the description for 5% off anything in the Vevor store. And yeah, give it a try. I mean, for under $100 at the time of this video, I don't think you can really go wrong with that. So let me know. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you will, and I'll keep making videos.